Hello, everyone. This is Ronnie Romero, and you are watching CMS TV.
And what is going on, everybody? It is Chris Akin back once again with another edition of Chris Akin Presents. And of course, my co-host, as always, Mr. Erik Ferentinos. Erik, you look like you're gaining a little weight, buddy.
I put on a lot of weight on that cruise.
All that shrimp and shit you've been eating, right?
all the buffets really got to me, man.
Anyway, the real guest host tonight, Mr. Jon Drake from the Talking Into Infinity podcast, as well as Brother Believe Me, as well as the Nerf Herder Council, as well as whatever else. You know, you only do, about 40 things at once?
Only about 42 if you're counting.
Who does more shit, me or you?
Oh, it's got to be you.
You think?
Yeah. You have like 8 different shows. I mean, I guest on other podcasts, and I've got my 2, and I do the band, and but yeah, I'd say that you definitely, you got To Me, you've got the CMS, you've got this. I mean, you're doing constant guest spots on other people's shows, so I'll say you.
True. Although here, I'll give you some breaking news. You said I do To Me. I did do To Me up until today.
Wow.
But me and him have
breaking news.
Yeah. No more Talk To Me with Chris Akin.
Why?
But, Knotfest is changing up. They want To Me to do a new metal thing, and I ain't part of that. They see the gray and they're like, "You ain't new. You're old." So.
Are you serious?
Well, I don't know why. Honestly, it's not fair of me to say why, and I got nothing bad to say about those guys. I made fucking $5,000 doing nothing. So, I really don't have any complaint at all about Knotfest, but they are going a different direction. And so are me and To Me, actually. We're going to start yet another show because I need more shows. We're going to replace Talk To Me on my end with, here's an old name coming back at you. We're bringing back the Pit Riff name on a new podcast.
Really?
Yeah. So that's gonna be we're gonna be putting that together here in the next week or so, and then we'll be doing that show off of the Knotfest books. So no more free money for me, man.
Well, but come on, that's exactly why you do all these things. Is all the money that it generates.
That's it. If I can't get paid, then I don't do it, man.
Right. See, that's the only difference. You are busier than me, but at least one of my side gigs makes me a lot of extra money. So
yeah.
that is the one difference. So,
well, my side gig in Pennsylvania makes me a lot of money.
You can't really call owning a business a side gig.
I don't go there.
It doesn't matter if you go.
I haven't been in like a year.
You own a business and it makes you money. That is hardly a side gig.
That's side to me.
All right.
It's believe me, it feels like a side gig because I feel like comfortable with what I'm doing most of the time. And then the phone starts ringing with something from Pinball PA, and I'm like, why the fuck am I still involved with this shit?
God damn it. I haven't been there in over a year for a reason.
Yeah. Why can't you fucking guys handle it? You're there.
Nice.
I've said that a lot of times on the phone. Why can't you guys handle it? You're there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I stay busy with all my stupid things. And I have my real business, and I have this stuff, and I like doing this stuff. This is my job. I will say that. I don't really give a shit what the money situation is. Doing podcasts is my job. It's what I want to do. It's what I care about. It's what I think about constantly. And all the other stuff is kind of just, well, I need to make money, so here's a website that I'll do, or here's a special at Pinball PA that we'll put on this weekend to generate some extra coin. Or look, new T-shirts, new shiny things at Pinball PA. Buy one, please.
Sure.
Because I need money so I can podcast.
Well, dude, it's what you love the most. I mean,
it is.
I mean, I would be lying if I said that I was 100% focused on work all the time when I'm at my day job. It's like, no, I'm thinking about, I got to write set lists for the weekend's shows and what am I going to talk about on Talking Into Infinity or Nerf Herd, or like what am I going to, what
half
interviews
the time
can I
it's
get?
me and you throwing emails back at, it'll be like 10 o'clock in the morning. You'll be like, did you hear that new fucking Seven Dust song?
Yeah.
So instantly in my mind, it's like, well, there's no work at John's place getting done other than listening to this Seven Dust song like 8 times in a row.
Yep. Yep.
Too good, man. Well, dude, for people that don't know, because have you appeared on Chris Akin Presents? I do not think so. Have you?
I think maybe once. I mean, we've done some.
did. I know Stephanie did a few times. I don't know that you did.
I did something with you. I don't know if it's exactly.
I don't
Chris
think it
Akin
was Chris
Presents.
Akin Presents. I think it was like Chris CMS Music or one of the other 15 titles that we
Yeah.
that we've had for this show. But yeah, this is your virgin voyage. That's why I brought the whores with me behind me.
Popping the cherry on.
That's right.
On CAP.
That's right. You can pop your cap, so to speak.
Exactly.
Nice. But for people that don't know, John and I are damn near brothers, I would say, at this point. I mean, we fucking, when we have time, we're always finding something to do, in the same room, as we did last Thursday.
Yep.
We went out, we saw our friend Dave Landau, and I can say our friend because I think he likes you more than me, especially after the way he dissed me on stage. But fun time, no?
Oh, it was a great time. It was awesome because like we already know that he's hilarious.
Sure.
We obviously love his comedy, but it was a different format. They call it crowd control.
Yeah.
And they get comedians up there and instead of doing like their standard rehearsed, their normal set, they ask the crowd questions and kind of they improv off of the responses that they get. And so they had I think the guy's name was Drew or something that he was up there with, I want to say.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I seem to remember him, and it was Landau and Drew just riffing on people, and it was the openers kind of did that. A couple of them had some rehearsed things, but yeah, Dave and Drew just went up there and they whatever the crowd would say, they just kind of went with it. It was awesome to see it different because we've seen, we do see repeat jokes here and there, and
and we just saw Landau.
Yeah, a few months ago.
When was that? That was what, December or November? It was when it was snowing. I know that.
Yeah, I think it was November, I want to say.
So what, 4 months ago or whatever, we had just seen him. Mm-hmm. And he was doing the material that became his new special, that of Prison 10.
Yeah.
So even during the week I had said to you something to the effect of, I don't even care if we see the same jokes. It's just a reason to go out.
Yeah.
That was kind of our excuse was, Landau has really become an excuse for us to just kind of go out, and, I get along, your wife is my best friend in the world. So, and then Kelly likes to hang out with you guys too. So it was just an excuse for us to go out.
Yeah.
But this time, we were so thinking we were going to be like, all right, we know every fucking joke.
Right.
And it was nice that we didn't know anything that was coming. That was definitely cool.
I had told Steph that because I looked up the showtime during the day, and when it said crowd control, I was like, well, that's something weird. I wonder what that is. It's got. I told her, I was like, something about the crowd. So I'm wondering what they're going, if it's like crowd participation or something. So it looks like we might get something different, and we sure did.
We did, and it was fun, but I will admit this, and I don't know if you felt the same way too. Way before Landau came on, when they had the first of the 3 bad comics come on, and they said, we're just gonna interact with you guys. Did you not sit there and go, oh shit? I was like, no. There's a reason I sit way in the back where you can't kind of see me.
I don't mind because I've been stuck at the main table several times, like at the Improv, and I have slipped and said dumb shit when they talk to me and accidentally set myself up for a beating. Right. So for me, I'm like, whatever. I don't care. It's all, in the name of humor. So
yeah,
I was like, okay.
I've done it once or twice, and being the fat guy in the room, you do not want to be up front. Jesus Christ. Every fucking item on the menu becomes a joke. It's like a joke at you. It's like, okay, chicken fingers, what do you think? It's like
it's like the nutty professor in the comedy club.
Have a couple more nachos, fat boy. Well, I'm telling you a joke. It's like, oh my God.
I think I think my favorite response was that table next to us where the one guy was asking about, married couples in here or whatever. And the one guy raises his hand and it's like, okay, well, how did you propose? And he goes, she made me. And then he asks her, like, well, why did you make him or whatever? She goes, well, it had been a year. And I'm going, that guy has got to be about 3 days away from eating the service end of a revolver because he married this chick and she's like, you're gonna propose to me.
Yeah,
it's been a year. I'm like, ooh, a year is just so fucking long.
Yeah.
And he did it. Oh my God, I couldn't believe this guy. I'm like, if that had been Steph or anybody I was dating, we hit a year. Well, where's my ring? I'd be like,
it's in the next guy's pocket. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. See ya. You didn't get one from me.
No, dude. And you could see it in that guy. That guy was sitting there. He was doing kind of the lean back with his ass forward in the chair, frumped over, just a beaten wreck.
I was going to say defeated.
He was just beaten. He was and you know what? He wanted to tell something that didn't make him sound like such a fucking pussy, but he knew she was right there to slap him.
Yeah.
And she would have slapped him. And that was fun. That was fun seeing that guy take a beating. I'll tell you who the most fun was for me. The couple right in front of us that met on a fucking a date rape fetish site.
It was some kink website, like an eHarmony, but for people who like weird fuck fetishes.
Yeah. It's eRam me or something.
Yeah.
It was something.
The best was like they said that it was the initial thing that they were going for when they're both on there was a rape. It was a rape fantasy.
Right.
And I forget how they phrased it, but he asked.
Well, first of all, he didn't want to admit it.
Yeah.
First, he was like, we met on a dating site. Well, what site? And they, just one of them sites. And then they started naming them. Was it Match? Was it eHarmony? Was it Bumble? What they started naming all these sites before he just said, "Oh no, it was a fetish site." Well, what kind of fetish? And it was like a fat guy and a less fat but still fat chick. So it was like, all right, that's got to be the fetish. It's got to be fat fetish. And it sure wasn't that. Jesus. No. It was tie her up with the telephone cord fetish.
Yeah. And what did he say? It was like, well, after the first time it kind of lost its luster. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Where do you go from rape? Like beating the shit out of this person? Yeah. Like
it's like
running them over
BTK,
with your car?
What else you got?
Right.
just waiting for him to say, and then the next girl I dated, I strangled and left her in the basement hanging on a wall. I was like, right. Jesus.
I know. Man, speaking of strangling, how badly did you want to get up and throttle that guy sitting by himself at the front right that just started talking
the paper
and would
plastic
not,
guy.
Yes, the guy that would not shut the fuck up.
Oh, he was a
terrible.
Fucking annoying dick. Just an annoying dick. He was the guy, and there's one of them in every crowd, but unfortunately for the Funny Stop where we saw this show, this fucking guy, the room wasn't full. So because the room wasn't full, they had to go with who was talking, and it was this fucking guy. But this guy, he was an engineer or something from Detroit. And he made sure we all knew that he drove all the way in from Detroit. Yeah, like Dave did, who was standing on the stage as well.
Yeah.
Dick. But oh my God, he wouldn't shut the fuck up. I'm an engineer and I work in plastics, and then with the plastics, this and that. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And he wouldn't shut up, and the comedians didn't cut him off.
Yeah. And the worst thing was the way he was presenting it. You could tell he was trying to be the center of attention. Oh. It wasn't like, well, I drove in from Detroit. I drove in from Detroit, and I do plastics, and I got to tell you, I've seen you before, Dave, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy's he's look at me guy. He's look at me guy at the comedy show.
Yeah, and we wanted to look at him leave.
Yeah, right.
He was just an annoying douche. Oh, he was an annoying douche. I'll tell you what was a highlight for me was that I got the biggest laugh of the crowd of the entire night, which I felt great about.
Yeah.
I felt great about somehow probably you. I think you leaned him into me, and because I was just content to shut up and not say anything, but somehow he was talking about marriages and he got into me with my 23-year debacle, but then he was surprised that I'd been divorced for 10 years. And he's like, you haven't found anybody else? What did she do to you? And I just yelled out, cunt!
Yeah, she's a cunt. Right.
Whole room broke up on that one.
Yep.
I don't think they were ready for that word to just come flying out. Especially at a table with 3 women at it. They really didn't expect that.
I know. Yeah, no, that was a great time. Like I tried to create an awkward moment. I didn't figure it'd work, but Dave was like, "Oh, well, ask any questions you want," and I hollered out, "Are you happy with your website?"
Yeah, and he goes, "No."
Yeah,
just without even any hesitation at all. I was like, "Well, what the fuck? You can't give me half a plug, dude. Really?"
I had to do it. I was like, "This will be the only time I ever get one in on Akin." Only time ever.
Well, that one worked because he absolutely caught me off guard with that quick no. I was like, what the fuck? But in all seriousness, we can't thank Dave enough for going way up and beyond. I felt like a prize pig asking him for 6 tickets, man. That really felt uncomfortable to me to ask for that many tickets. And, I asked him, I said, I even said it to him when I asked him, I said, am I being a fucking pig if I ask for 6 tickets? And he's like, no, fine, cool, whatever, dude. Totally cool, as he always is. So,
yeah.
And he's always cool to hang out after and just, shoot the shit with my friends and, you obviously, who introduced me to him. And
yep.
It was a good time. And it was a really good time considering the amount of pressure he's under right now with the new show and the whole Crowder stuff going on. Literally that day was the big Crowder ring video that got released of him just verbally beating up his pregnant wife.
Yep.
I was like, woo, that was a bit tough of a day for him to just come out and just be telling jokes and having fun, but
right.
Good time though, man.
Yeah. It's always a great time. Dude, he's just consistently so unbelievably funny.
Hell yeah.
And he's so good at what he does. Like his delivery is amazing, and it's like I always kind of, when I try and describe him to people, it's like I don't know if this really gets it across, but it's almost like he's got 2 punchlines. He'll say something
right.
funny and you're laughing, but then he follows it up with something just brutal. It's like a second punchline, and it's hilarious the way he does this stuff. And
he's a master at silence.
Yes.
Which is a rare thing. You see too many comedians, the really good ones, the really good comedians that you'll see will know when to just be quiet and let the silence actually be the joke. Landau's really good at that. But like you said, he'll leave the silence for the joke to build, and just as it starts to wane, then he hits you again with another part. And then I raped her. It's like,
yeah.
It's like, whoa, dude.
Yeah, he's
great.
It's like that joke about the tricycle and the flowers or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Where he's like, yeah, it was my kid's birthday or whatever, and I got him a tricycle and some balloons. I mean, it was, I got him off of from the base of a telephone pole at the intersection up the street, but right. And as you're laughing, he's like, I mean, the bike's a little dented, but I mean, it works.
Yeah,
it's the worst.
It's so brutal, which is what is, he's definitely cringe humor at its worst, at its ugliest, but that's great. I mean, that's me and you would not like going to a show and going, and then he planted more daisies.
Yeah. Well, and it's also his choice of words too.
Yeah.
Like he uses very intelligent word choices. Like the one joke where he's like, "I'm sorry, doctor, I didn't realize that my wife was such a classless animal." Like he doesn't go with like the standard insults, which makes it really funny because it's actually you could tell there's like an intelligence to it,
sure.
which you don't see a lot of, and the jokes don't go in these obvious directions that so many comedians do. You're like, okay, I could tell where this is going to go,
right?
And then he's not just dropping F-bombs every other word to be edgy. It's intelligent humor.
Yeah, no, he doesn't really swear much now, does he? He's not a big swear guy at all, actually.
No,
Now that I'm thinking about it, not a ton, but so yeah, fun time out. A rare time out for me and you that we did not get hammered.
Yeah.
That was really surprising for, between me, you, my friend Steph, Kelly, and his wife, and Seth's wife, Heather, we drank. How much was your bar tab? $50?
It was like
maybe?
$60.
Mine was like 40 total.
Yeah.
$100. That never happens with us.
No.
$100?
Well, and Steph was the most drunk of any of us.
Yeah, she drank a ton for her.
Yeah.
She was taking big pulls off of those fucking pitchers.
Yep. Well, and I mean that's all she drinks is light beer.
Yeah.
She doesn't drink booze. She doesn't go for like regular Budweiser or Coors.
Right.
No, it's Mick Ultra. And if they don't have that, let's go with the Miller Lite. And I think we had 4 pitchers on that
Yeah.
tab, and she was going through a good amount of it.
She drank more than I did. I could tell you for me, and this is the stunner for me. For me, total on the whole night, I had 3 Jack and Cokes and 2 cups of beer from your pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And I mean, for me, that's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
It never, we've one of the very few times in my life that I've actually had to be carried out of a place was that place.
Yeah.
What was that? A year and a half, 2 years ago or whatever, maybe even a little longer at this point. Because I think that was pre-COVID.
It was the one right after COVID.
Right after
21
COVID started, yeah.
Yeah.
But
It
that was
21.
one time. Whew. That was weird. I was like sitting there. I was fine. I stood up. I was like, oh man, I'm really fucked up. I was like, it was one of the very few times I was ever like, oh, here's the keys. Here's that,
Yep.
somebody guide me to the passenger seat because I'm not driving.
Yeah, you hadn't partied a lot recently.
Right.
At that time, you hadn't partied very recently, and so you just decided that was one of those nights. So I sat down. I'm like, I'm gonna get a shot. You went, okay.
All
It
right.
wasn't even. Hey, Chris, would you like a shot? It was, I'm gonna get a shot. Okay.
All right. I'm in.
So, make that 2.
Yeah. And me and you have done that from time to time.
A few times.
Yeah, dude, the best party time I can remember with me and you was here at the Man Palace. That first party that I had, where literally it went off the fucking rails with shaving your ass, shaving my head, fucking
Putting the road, shaved you like the road warrior,
Road
Hawk,
Warrior
putting
Hawk.
the paint on your face.
yeah. Somebody went out and bought the face paint. And I'm running around my house at fucking 7:00, and people are coming in and out of the party. They're seeing me with a shaved head like Road Warrior Animal with the fucking face paint on, walking around with a full gallon jug of sangria, taking pulls off the jug of sangria like it was a beer. Literally, there's a big giant jug full of sangria, and I'm just like, drinking, pouring down my shirt and shit. I was wrecked.
That was the best part, was the people that walked in after the head shaving and the face paint that just walked in and did that split second. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, and they immediately they knew everything had already gone to hell in a handbasket.
Well, the thing was, the party I think was supposed to start at like 5 because we were going to do CMS that night.
Yeah.
But it started at noon with me and you. And by 5:00, I was bombed. And too many people showed up. That was another problem. Was my house is not that big, but for my house to be to hold this many people was absolutely ridiculous. There was like 100 people showed up at my house that maybe can comfortably fit 20, and it just turned into. We had, remember the cases of beer that were surrounding the grill, and it was like. Because I have a rule when I have these parties that everybody has to bring a 6-pack or a 2-liter, whatever they're drinking. And, and then everybody just kind of pools it, and then we have a party. Well, we tried all that, but when we tried all of that, next thing I knew, everybody was bringing cases of beer.
Cases, yeah.
So 75 people, we probably literally had 50 cases of beer here. Mm-hmm. Plus whiskey, plus bourbon, plus tequila. It just went off the rails. And at one point, It was 2:30 in the morning. I needed to move a car. I ran over some big giant rocks in my driveway and tore the bottom end of my car completely out.
The front fender, yeah.
It just and I was like, it's fine. It's fine. Meanwhile, there's liquid just flowing all over the place. It was bad.
I remember that. I could not stop laughing. I mean, it was funny enough as it was, but then when you're all hammered and stuff, and you with your amazing skills behind the wheel on full display,
it was $3,000 worth of funny because it cost me $3,000 to fix it. But I didn't care. It was like, hey, it's part of the party. Yeah,
you just put that thing in drive and went right into that rock.
Well, we just heard it go. I was like. Oh, and I what I remember most is I get out the car and I go, did I hit something? Like a fucking moron.
It was great. Yeah, then you jump in the car and there's no subtlety like, I'm going to try and back this out a little bit. No, once again, just smash the gas pedal in reverse and off comes the front.
Off comes like, the bumper.
Oh,
it's like, whoops.
Like, oh, this
Guess
is
I
not
tore
good.
this car to shit, but...
So great.
All right. Well, we could tell these stories all night, but first we are going to do this. We do have a band coming on tonight, a band that I'm digging called Seven Stones, which I'm not going to lie, when I first got it, I really thought it was the band from like 20 years ago that was on Evanescence's album. I thought it was 12 Stones.
Yeah.
And it took me about a week because at first I was like, Evanescence, not my thing, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to pay attention to this shit, and I really didn't listen to it for about a week. And then their publicist, Barbara, who's great. She absolutely rules. Mm-hmm. And she's like, did you listen to Seven Stones? And I was like, I remember them from the day. And she was like, what are you talking about from the day? They're a new band. And I was like, oh, all right, let me listen. So then I listened. I was like, these guys pretty much fucking rock. So
yep.
Let's do this. We're going to take a quick break, play, and then we'll come back. We'll play a little bit of Seven Stones, and then we will be back with Drew Elliott from the band Seven Stones. Right after this, it is Chris Akin Presents.